Stick chicks.
Because, yeah, I don't know if I'm technically sick.
No,
Well,
probably not. Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
But I'm using it quite loosely because it really is. Sickness is a weird word.
Stick chicks.
I'm reclaiming it.
Baby, you are sick.
Hello, this is my friend Roshi.
Hello.
You might be seeing more of her on the channel because she is also a croc and lives near me.
Yeah.
So ableism.
how about that?
I've been getting these like messages from you over the last couple of weeks where you're just like, another ableism thing happened.
So it's good to have an outlet.
It is, yeah.
To just go, what the hell?
I get every second day I get a message from you that's either like an instance of ableism or a meme.
Yeah, and
I get the best sick memes from you.
I'm subscribed to the Mighty, and they send me once a week, every Sunday night, they send me chronic illness memes, and it's so good. Like I'm on a newsletter. Yeah, a bit inspo porny though.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. I feel like a lot of like people who acquire disability or whatever, talking about it just seems to be inspo porny in itself, because it's like all you've. I don't know. Even some things that I've written about, like myself, I'm like, ooh, God.
Well, I mean, this whole channel is arguably inspo porn, just depending on where you get your inspiration from.
There you go. Yeah.
Inspiration is like subjective.
People always tell me, when people tell me like I'm an inspiration, I'm like, now explain that more.
Yeah.
And go, what do I inspire you to do?
Yeah.
Walk? It's a nice thing to say if it meant something.
Yeah, I feel like you're just telling me you're sick and I think you're cool. Like,
just say that. Like, I'd be so chuffed if you said that. But then you can take different things out of like someone's journey or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like, you inspire me because like you're determined or something like that. Like that'd be fine. But if you're like, or like you're so inspiring, it just feels so empty. It's like the only compliment you're allowed to give disabled people.
Oh, or sometimes it's like, oh, you know did the leaving cert and you were sick, that's so inspiring, and I'm like, that makes perfect sense. But other times I'm like just really sick and they're like, that's inspiring. I'm like, no, it's not, it's just really like, or like when I put out the picture from like hospital or whatever, it was funny because everyone's like, oh, you're so strong, and I'm like, well, because I have wires in my face.
Strong wires though.
I know, like, oh wow, they're really fortifying me. Let's talk about visibility for a second. Here's a good segue, because like when you're visibly doing something that's like sick related, like being in a hospital, or alternatively like doing something cool and everyone's like, but she was sick, then people like remember in that moment. But like even people who know you, so the fact that it's invisible somewhat shouldn't matter, they still like forget. Yeah. So like,
oh yeah, big time.
Like constantly. Yeah. So like the Instagram thing is a really interesting way of like example, because I was sick for all of my pictures. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just like, I've been sick for 6 years. People were messaging me and being like, oh, are you? I don't know, it's interesting. I feel like people were much more aware that I was ill for that one day or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but
you gotta remind the people.
Yeah, it's funny. So like, we both use walking sticks. But you went from chair to walking stick.
Chair to crutches.
Yeah.
To crutch. To stick.
Yeah.
To crutch.
But what I mean is...
to chair. To crutch.
Yeah. But your trajectory has been from like super visible to stick, which is like semi-visible.
Yeah, and then nothing for a while, which was really weird. Whereas
my trajectory was very, very sick, but completely invisible to having a stick. So to me,
still being sick.
But to
well, probably more.
Yeah. But like it's interesting just because I think a stick is like a really amazing bit of visibility, and I'm like, everyone's nice to me, and you think a stick is not.
Yeah, because it's like my last thing. My mindset about the stick though has changed so much, because like I follow this girl on Instagram who also has spinal cord injury, and like her goal is to end up without a walking stick, which I totally get. But so she's always like talking about how much she hates her stick, but now like because I've kind of like accepted, like I've gone from like, I don't know, like I just have a definitely more healthy attitude towards it now, because I've done the whole like not using it anymore, and then I'm like, actually it actually helps me so much. Yeah. So it's a good thing in turn.
So when I started using a stick, their concern went from like 50 to 100. But for me, like if I had to get rid of all of my symptoms but had to keep one, it would be like the legs are my least bad symptoms. You know what I mean? Like the rest of them are like such pain in the ass. They get in my way of like, they stop me from being able to live like a normal life or whatever. They're like painful. Having weak legs is like not that inconvenient in the greater scheme of things. Do you know what I mean?
Problematic faves.
Problematic faves.
As young people, like, we totally have to explain, like, in depth what the walking stick does. But, like, an old person would never, ever have to go, like, you just go, old person, they're using the stick because they're old. Like, you just can't go, I'm using a stick because I have a thing. Like, no one just takes that. They're like, but why? And, like, what part of your leg is dodgy? And, like, what doesn't it do?
I think next time I should just be like, it's because I'm old. Getting on, turning 20 next week.
I think that's a good one.
It's like the Trump administration, Brexit, have just aged a lot in the last.
It's been tough.
Some guy asked me why I had a stick, and I told him that I had fallen off a horse because it was the first French sentence that came into my head. And then I realised that in the context of the south of France, where they have a big like cowboy culture, surprisingly, like they have a lot of horse riding and stuff. So I was like, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That's super legit.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I say that here, nobody will question it. So for I spent like a month in France this summer, and I told everyone that I'd fallen off a horse when they asked me what was wrong with my legs.
Someone literally came up to me in the Lighthouse Cinema and went, "What's wrong with you?" And I went, "I have a spinal cord injury." And they went, "Did you fall off a horse?" And I was like, "This is your doing."
But like, it's just because I can't explain to everyone all the time, and I also can't say like, "No, you can't ask me that," because.
But it's also so much emotional energy as well. You're just like, well,
I do someone would say like I have a chronic illness sometimes, and people are like, "Cool," but that could be anything.
Like, because mine's like an acquired disability, through a kind of trauma, I guess. So people hear like I got a spinal cord injury when I was 17. They go, "Oh, like she did some kind of diving accident or something. She fell out of a hot air balloon." Then I'm just like, "Oh, I had surgery and it went wrong." And they're like, "Oh." They're kind of like disappointed. I'm like, sorry. When we were in Berlin on our 6th-year holiday, I was using crutches. She had a pair of crutches. And we were in a club, and Rachel made up my friend Rachel, made up this story that I was a wrestler that was basically blackmailed into losing a fight because they had my son. And
that's amazing.
It was believed, but I don't know if it was just because they were trying to get involved with Rachel or not.
Another really fun thing that happens to me, see, most of my like because I feel like in college people like are a little bit, I'm not gonna give them a free pass, but I feel like in a college situation there's a lot of like politics, a lot of like lefty people.
Oh.
People are a bit more like.
They're a bit more woke.
Yeah, they're a bit more woke, so they're probably like, maybe don't go up to a stranger with a stick and be like, "What's up?"
Oh no, it's definitely older people.
Yeah, but it's on like buses. It's on buses where the real.
It's always buses.
What started happening was that people came over and would sit down beside me. And they'd ask me, and then after they asked me, they'd tell me all their problems.
Yeah,
which is kind of.
Someone once told me they had gout, and I was like, oh.
But like I don't think that's. I don't know. I end up feeling quite connected to them. Like having a quite interesting conversation and being like, "Thank you for sharing." My favorite thing is when two people with sticks are together, because people are way more confused. Like it just gets so much weirder so fast. Because I've walked around with you with our sticks, and also the funniest one was me walking around with Anna.
Oh yeah.
Who we met over the summer. Yeah. Because so you gave Anna a stick.
Floral.
Yeah, a floral stick. But what was funny was me and Anna ended up walking around with sticks that matched our outfits, and both of our outfits were sort of out there anyway. So it
is a bit of a look though. Like,
yeah.
the amount of times
people were like, "There's no way both of these people need these sticks because they match their outfits too well, and it's too much of a
too good.
It's too much of an overall. People were just like, we don't know what we're looking at. It's very cute. And when we were walking around Trinity together with our sticks and our flower crowns.
Okay, yeah, we both decorate. Actually, this is in my weird crutch phase. I just used one crutch instead of a cane, which actually invoked way more questions than a stick does. It looks a lot more temporary than a walking stick does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm actually so glad that I started using the stick. Yeah.
And you're using like plain sticks at the moment, which is interesting.
Yes,
Is that because like when you use funky ones, people don't believe you?
Yeah, people. Well, if they see, because I have this big fluffy coat, which I'm wearing right now, big like fluffy black coat, so they're like, Or I also have this leopard print coat, fluffy as well, and they're like, ooh, that's a pimpy coat and a pimpy stick, so she's like wearing a costume.
Like I have like a really long like velvet coat.
I also have a robe that I can't wear when I have a stick. Like the only time I can wear it is like if I'm in the scooter. Like it looks like I look like a wizard if I use a stick.
Yeah,
like
I look like I look like a dandy. I look like I'm just trying to like go to like.
There's some things that
I'm going to
eat and
I'm like having a brandy in the men's supper club. Like that's my vibe when I wear the stick and the coat together.
Do you think you'll be able to go back to college in September?
Okay, here's the context. We're both taking a year off. We're both in Trinity College. We're both taking a year off because we're crocked.
I have a broken screw on my spine.
How are you like sitting here?
I'm on opiates. I'm off my veins. No, I'm not. I'm actually very...
Which really explains a lot about this video.
Yes, September.
Yeah. So it's kind of stressful because it's like... See, I really don't know. At this point, I'm like, probably not. Because I went to the clinic and they're very much like, this is going to take at least 2 years, probably more.
Mm.
And if I go back to college before I'm ready, then I'm gonna get so sick so fast.
And there's a risk of like this whole year kind of going down the drain, like if you undo everything.
If I undo everything in September, because college isn't the kind, like everyone's like, oh, you can just like do it in a chill way.
You can take 2 years off, like
can you?
As a sabbatical, like.
Oh, I didn't know that because I was like, oh dear, because if I don't go back, will they take away my place? I have no idea how this works.
I don't know when my operation will be, so if it's like in summertime,
then you can't just go back straight after operation. The year off, I'm so glad, like the year off was definitely the right thing to do. High five, good choices. Definitely, like I have improved a lot since September, which is good, but I'm just like, that's a deadline that's a bit ridiculous. That's something I've been stressed about for the last 2 months. Because I think it's something about like it turning New Year and me being like, whoa, I'm not able to go back in September.
Yeah, time is kind of really flying and it's really terrifying.
Yeah.
Like it's almost been, I think it's almost been 1 year since my last operation, which like I've been like waiting to recover from. And then like obviously I haven't recovered because I've been broken on the inside, no one knew. But like
that's so funny because that sounds like a Pinterest post about mental illness, like I've been broken on the inside, no one knew. But you're like, no, my screw's loose.
I literally have loose screws.
Yeah, that's annoying. But also you couldn't have been in college, so it's not like you can be like, damn.
Dead right. Yeah, someone I bumped into that's the worst question to ask. What are you doing?
Yeah, because they're like, oh, are you working? Are you like gonna go like backpacking through China? And I'm like, if I could, this isn't a gap year. If I could go live in Hanoi for 3 months, I'd be in college. Like that's what I would be doing with that energy. Because I just decided like, I'm just gonna pretend they've asked me a not silly question. So when people are like, oh, what are you doing? Are you working? I respond with like explaining what my treatment is. See, for me, it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, I want to recover and I don't care what form that recovery takes, in the sense that I don't have like a deadline and have like
I know, it's
so true.
In exchange for like
I know. I'd be so
health.
I know.
Yeah, I would take that. Yeah, if I was to take next year out as well, then I'd be like on the cusp of health as well, like for maybe the end part of it, which would actually be pretty fun. So it would be like essentially like a gap.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah, because my hope was that I would get well during the year so that I was actually well for part of it.
I wrote this thing and it was just like, I was reading over it and it was like, this year I'm taking a year out of college to work on physio and go travelling and get really healthy and blah blah blah, because I can't do my physio when I'm in college. I was just like looking at it now, I'm just like, haha.
Yeah, no, same. I was like, I'm gonna like obviously do the whole like recovering thing, and then I'll be recovered by like March. Then I'll get a job. Then I'll like go live in Spain. Like, no, this takes a really long time.
Yeah, because not much has happened.
Yeah, well, a lot has happened for me, but only in terms of me having a bunch of scientific revelations. In terms of like, I keep on learning why I'm sick, and then I'm like, oh, I can see why what I was doing wasn't working.
Cool.
Because the more I learn about I'm gonna make a biology class video where I explain what's wrong with me.
A playlist of.
I can't make it musical because that just doesn't make sense.
No, but you know, like YouTube playlists where like you add things. You have like a 10-part videos. And like,
yeah, I can do a series where I just explain like mitochondrial dysfunction, autonomic hyperarousal, all this. It's gonna be so good. I swear it's gonna be interesting.
Watched all of my YouTube, me and Martha's songs.
Oh, that's so cute.
For our 4th year project.
Are those still on the internet?
Those are on the internet.
You can find Roisin playing music as a 16-year-old. Linked below. It's going to be linked below.